Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to episode number 9 of my SimAirport career mode series. In today's episode, we are continuing-ish from where we left off in the last episodes. I have gone ahead and jumped forward about 5 to 6 days in the game, and we've gone ahead and done a lot of expansion, which we need to now go ahead and fill out. So, two things first of all I did, which I did off camera. This is more of an experiment. I've expanded the kitchen massively, and I've gone ahead and gone from, I think we had possibly 16 food workers to 30 food workers. I just want to see how efficient I can get this place, and I've got it, I think, to as about efficient as it can really be without adding in an extra. I mean, this could just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, but it is, I think, the best efficiency that it can be. Especially as you see in the kitchen here, staff are just running around like crazy. It works out fine, works out quite well. A lot of customers are getting served now. Yes, there are queues, but people aren't leaving as much, which is good to see. So I'm quite happy with how the progress has been made, and also just how quickly people get served. That has also changed quite a bit as well. On top of that, we've hired a chief T. What is T? I can't even remember, to be honest. I just hired him as well. A CTO as a Chief Technology Officer. So some of the technology research which we are going to do shortly is to do with just advancing procedures. So for example, this one is probably advanced security, one of the most useful ones. It allows me to go ahead and downstairs assign a specific ID stand to bag scanner to then metal detector. Right now they are all in a line, but if you do notice very closely, people will jump around, and it can be very annoying, especially at crowded times. That causes delays, all these small things. So it is something that I can go ahead and get rid of once I go ahead and do the research for the technology, that is. But it has given me a few more things, and fuel ports is arguably the most valuable there. However, we're a long way off that yet. We will get there, but just not right now. Okay, so with that said, I've also gone ahead and just tidied up and made a little bit more exciting the entrance area. So hypothetically, this is where the receptionist would sit. The receptionist would then, you know, tell people to sit down, have a wait while they're going to go see someone in someone's office. Then you've just got some general workers' desks as well, and then I'll probably fill this gap in at some point as well. Along with that, I've gone ahead and actually added some more tables into here. Then outside of that, upstairs hasn't changed. Downstairs, regards to change, nothing much really. I've gone ahead and filled in a lot of areas though. 3 areas to be specific, and I've rebuilt the maintenance centre. So this corner here, as we can see, is ready to go ahead and be filled out, which we'll do shortly. We've got this area here, which I'm sort of just going to leave blank for now, to be honest. Eventually the security will be expanded, but there's no need for it right now, and I don't want to go ahead and waste unnecessary money. So we're simply just going to cordon this area off, and then we're going to go from there for the time being. It's also going to really depend on how baggage claim is laid out, and that's something which it's one of the main things we're working towards this episode. And then we've also got up here the ticketing area as well. This will be expanded up into here, and then we also have the new maintenance centre as well, which is long overdue to be rebuilt, just so everything is in decent condition, you could say. Right, so where do we start this episode? Well, it's really down to ticketing and money is where we start. First thing I do want to do though is, just for my peace of mind, we're going to go ahead and clear some of these walls. And I am actually going to go ahead and extend the terminal here while I can. So let's go ahead and get rid of that there. Let's also just go ahead and clear this wall out and just put some carpets in. Now, before I thought that how this would work is that I would just go ahead and I'd have more gates at the bottom here, pretty much resting up against where the terminal is now. However, if I go ahead and add in gates, and I touched on this I think at the end of episode number 7, if we can grab a gate, and actually we need to slow this game down a bit as well, then as we can see with large, we've got a lot of frame rate issues. It doesn't sit very well at all. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have the gates further down, so we're going to get a lot more room out of this terminal finger, which I think is a good and positive note anyway. It means that, again, just everything's not as cramped together. That's something I really do not want to have. As well, right now we're also still waiting on more money coming in. Generally, money has not really improved, to be honest, even with the better food services that I am providing. I thought I did a lot of I did a good job on that, but doesn't really seem to be that way. The frame rate is awful right now. I'm not really at all sure. It's just because we've got more customers at the airport. That's the bottom line. So we're going to go ahead and work around that for the time being anyway, and just slow the game down slightly. Right, okay, so with that done, we can go ahead and fill this out, and I'm just going to add in some more customer eating locations, and also I want to add in more benches again, just to go ahead and make this airport feel a little bit more homely. With that said, the airline interest is actually going down, which is kind of disappointing. I did add in one more flight as well. There's an extra flight in the afternoon now, so again, the airport is pretty much back to chock-a-block, except we're missing something here in... I mean, an airline might have just pulled out, to be honest, of the gate A1 in the evening, which is weird. Not really at all sure why that is, but I've also, I suppose I've done something else. I've gone ahead and changed the fees, so it costs much more for an individual to come, an extra $10, it's gone up from 40 to 50, but then the runway usage has gone down to $100, so, and it really didn't make much difference. I don't really believe that is the reason why that's changed, though we'll never really be able to tell, because it doesn't really give you that much of an insight, unfortunately. It is sort of just a bit of a guessing game, but I mean, that is the most difficult statistic to go ahead and alter. It really is quite difficult, unfortunately. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start on the baggage works. This is the big thing which has been overdue, and it just needs to happen. That is the thing. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to start off very, very basic, and that's, I mean, that's the best way to go with things here. We're going to go ahead and have basically one baggage routing thing out here for these 4 gates. Realistically, I think we'll have 5 small gates before we go ahead and wrap around the corner here and try and add in some large gates. Now, for that to happen, what I need to do is we need to go ahead and we're going to work backwards actually, because I think it'll be easier. So we're going to jump into utilities, and we're going to go for baggage depot. Now that requires a foundation below, so we need to start off at -1 here. And as we can see, we've got no foundation under here, so it's a massive building project which is going to take place. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and have a baggage room about here, I think. Might need to be a bit longer than that actually, yeah, so that's perfect. So this is going to be our baggage room underground, and then basically all the baggage will come from the new baggage hall which we're about to build over here. It's going to come underground and along to roughly where this is here. So we need to wait for that to get built. That will take a little bit of time overnight. However, that is not much of a problem. While that takes place, we can go ahead and continue to kit out the terminal, which is easy enough to do. So we'll start off with just benches for the time being. Now, I'm thinking that we could also maybe add in the first, either maybe a lounge down here, or should we just add in more bathrooms? I feel we should maybe add in more bathrooms down here and keep lounges and that upstairs. There's 2 designated areas I want to build which I've not built yet, which is the first class lounge and the flight crew lounge. These things can be quite small, minimum size of 5x5. Yeah, we might just do that, just make them both 5x5 and put them on the bottom floor. Or should we add in more bathrooms? Maybe restrooms. I feel restrooms would be more important downstairs, and we can build those both upstairs. That's not a problem at all anyway. As we can see as well, overnight, the kitchen is costing a lot to run. We are doing, with regards to money, we are making money on it. So first of all, if we go to today, let's go to yesterday actually. Yesterday's a much better comparison. So first of all, if we look at staff, I've got 30 staff working. As we can see, food workers 7.2 or 7,200 if you want to say. That is not even our highest wage bill, just because a lot of people really do require a lot more money. For example, security, but security is a bit more sophisticated, I guess you could say, than fast food. So we're spending 7,200 there. Then we've got income of about 32,000 all in all, which is really nice. And I'm quite happy about that. Pizza joint is not actually this place, it is an individual stand downstairs, so it's doing fine. But it didn't really bring in anything yesterday, which is a bit disappointing. And I'm not really at all sure why that is. We did get a lot of income from ATMs, but outside of that, it's really the retail food, which is, as you can see, it's making us the net profit of about 17,000 there. It's mainly coming from that. So again, another restaurant in the future would be good. That's why I spent so much time, though, going ahead and just optimizing this restaurant. Okay, so with that said, hopefully now this should be built over here, which is good. So if we go underground, as we can see, it is. So let me go ahead and go into utilities. Let's go into baggage depot and let's come back up above ground. Let's go ahead and... oh, you know what? I think I need to move it one forward as well. See, it's going to be quite a rigorous process, to be honest. Just the way it's going to be. I'm looking forward to having a larger baggage area, though. It's something which has really been needed, because I mean the airport is quite small, and I have considered maybe moving security upstairs or downstairs, doing something like that. Baggage claim downstairs, because we are lacking in room. Definitely lacking in room. That's why I think it'd be a better idea if the finger was wider, which has all the gates, just so it means that if we need to, we can go ahead and move stuff around, or we're not really... I just don't want a... I hate, personally, airports which are just too cramped together. Edinburgh Airport is one of these airports, whereas I was in Minneapolis on my travels, and that airport was just so wide and open, and there was plenty of room. There wasn't really much worry about that at all, which was nice. And I thought, you know, this is a good airport, and it was a good airport. I'm glad I went. Right, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to stick this here, like so. So as we can see now, we've got downwards connections, which is fine. So this will now allow us to go ahead and reroute baggage along into our lovely, we'll make that 1, 2, 3, 4 wide. Yep, 4 wide. So this is going to run all the way over into our main baggage hall, which is going to cost us quite a bit of money. All of this, unfortunately, will cost us quite a bit of money. So that will run underground there. So it's going to be 2 walls, there's going to be a walkway, and there'll be where the conveyor belt is. And then again, we're going to have to do the same to the baggage claim area, which we also need to go ahead and lay out, which shall be interesting to do indeed. So how is this area going to change? Well, that's a very good question. This area, which is cordoned off, this is just going to be a conveyor belt area, and it's going to put stuff underground, basically. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and see what we need to do. So if we go ahead and start off by looking at ticketing desks, then what I want to do is I just basically want to have ticketing desks all the way around the outside, I think. That's the best way to put things. So, if we go ahead and just put, say, 2 ticketing desks, 3, 4, 5 in there right now. Then what I want to do is I want to do utilities. We're going to do conveyor belts. Oh, you can do 2-way conveyor belts. Well, that could be quite useful to just bring bags back. Yeah, we'll see about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do conveyor belt to there, and then we'll have the conveyor belt come along here. Like so. And that'll all run into there. Then this will go through the back and it'll feed and it'll go down the way. That is probably the best bet. And then we have conveyor belt down, that'll go down into the tunnel. Right, that should work quite well. Hopefully. So that'll get the bags along there. And then, I mean, right now we do not have a lot of ticketing desks as it is anyway, and I don't think we really need that much more to start with. I do want to build more for the future, but to start with, we can probably still operate just on 6 anyway. That's not too much of an issue at all. Good thing is as well, we are making enough money now, especially with this 4th gate, that we're not really having to wait too much. I am spending a lot of money, but we are gaining a lot of money pretty much at the same rate, if not faster, so it is much better overall. Okay, so as I was saying, baggage claim, how is this going to be laid out? Well, I'm not 100% sure myself, to be honest, but what I am thinking is we have baggage carousels, we have quite a few of these. Again, we're going to have another area under this. So if we go ahead and I'm going to use my finger as a marker here, so that's going to be, what, 11 wide from there. So 11 wide from there. I've literally got my finger on the screen right now. Right, so that's 11 wide, and then I don't know how deep this needs to be. Needs to be quite deep, to be honest. Again, we can just start off with like 2. This area can be very small to start off with. We're actually going to need to add a border into all of this, aren't we? Yes, we will. So let's go ahead and do like so. and that works out nicely. Right, so you'll eventually get, if you've not really seen the new baggage system in-game before, then this might take a little while to get your head round, but once it's done, it's a much better system, trust me, than what it once was. It is quite weird having the security right next to baggage claim. Usually these two areas are segregated, and in many other airports I have built they are, but right now it's not. It might be in the future, but it's just not going to be for now. Just because, again, I don't have thousands and thousands to expand and build a extremely large terminal at this stage. Again, that's something maybe later down the line we may consider. Okay, so hopefully this tunnel should now have been built, which it has, which is good. So along with this, we need to go ahead and expand that into here, and then expand that up like that, which is perfect. Right, okay, and then we can go ahead and clear that, and we can start to go ahead and build the conveyor belts, which is good. Looking forward to this already. It will make just everything in the airport so much more better. It's going to cost a bit more, probably practically, but it means that planes should be able to board and deboard, or empty, whatever you call it, much easier. And it means I hope that we can get a tighter plane schedule as well. That should hopefully be another good benefit. Okay, so with a bit more of this built now, you can sort of start to get an idea of what's going on. So everything's going to run through the back here, and it requires connection up to a baggage hub. So what is a baggage hub? A baggage hub is this item here, where basically you have bags that come in and bags that go out, so they basically get sorted. So right now, I honestly think we're only going to need one baggage hub. I don't know where it is going to go, to be honest, though. I think we first of all need to go ahead and clear this wall. Then I'm just going to see what room we have, to be honest, because it also depends on where the gates are as well. Maintenance centers in this location too, so it is quite busy up here. It might be better having the baggage hub underground. I honestly think that would be the better idea. So what I want to do is I want to do a conveyor down, forced by nearby fence or wall. Yeah, I think we need to clear some of this here too. So if we go ahead and clear that there and that there, yes, the baggage hub is going to be downstairs. That's going to be the best thing to do. So let's go ahead and also expand the foundation area into there like so, and let's build along there. So all this, it's going to take a long time, and it's really just a dirty work, to be honest. It is very picky, but once, as I said, it's done, it is going to be beautiful. Trust me, and hopefully we should at least get the first, should pretty much get it done in this episode. Though again, it is a lot of stop-starting, but this game is sort of at that stage now where I had to let, in between this and the last episode, the game run for maybe 45 minutes, just so I can go ahead. I spent so much money on extending the terminal over here, going ahead and building this, building some stuff underground, above ground, on the second floor, that I really did land up having to wait that length of period, because I did spend like 500,000 to be fair. That I had to go ahead and just wait to get the money back, so. Okay, what else do we need? Is there anything instantly we need? I mean, advanced security, that's 36,000, advanced ticketing ability. I mean, I don't need any of this right now at all, so we're just going to leave it for the time being. Okay, so with all this done now, that is finally built, which is good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and clear, like so, and clear like so. So this means now the builders will come along, they'll clear that back, and that means I can do what I've been wanting to do for a while now. Behind the check-in is not going to look pretty anymore. That's no longer really a thing. Right now it doesn't look too bad, but unfortunately it's just the way that things are now. Okay, so what I want is I want this to go down here like so. So then we'll go ahead and add the conveyor belt into there. So all the bags are going to run along here and they're going to run down there, which is fine. So you're going to run down here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a baggage hub. So I need two inputs like so. Then you're going to go into this input, and then you're both, there's going to be another line coming in from, realistically, I want ticketing desks down this top side as well. So what's going to happen is, again, there's going to be a long line, the bags are going to come down, and then what will happen is once the bags come down, they'll filter into this entrance here, they'll both go into the baggage hub and everything will come out along here, like so. Then everything will make its way all the way along underground here until it gets to here. Then what will happen is it will come into the baggage hub and it'll go up and it'll be sorted onto... It'll already be pre-sorted, should I say. But then all the bags will come along to here and they'll be loaded onto the planes, which is perfect. Right, okay, so that's that part done, and as we can see, it's showing bags temporarily just to, I think, simulate... It might actually be working, to be fair. No, it can't be, but it's just simulating bags moving just to show that it is working one way, which is good. Obviously, these desks aren't in operation yet, but they will be shortly. So with that done now then, we need to go ahead and focus back on baggage claims. So if we come back over here, jump back underground, we can go ahead and clear out this bordering area, like so. And then we can go ahead and add in some baggage... Where are we? Baggage carousels is what I want. So we can go ahead and put these in the corners, and that's what I'm going to do. So again, just try to leave a lot of room around here. We're just going to start off with 2. Realistically, we probably do want 4, just because we've got the 4 gates, but for the time being, we'll just start off with the 2, and we'll go ahead and expand as time goes on. So let's drop back down. As we can see here, this is going to have to be expanded. So again, we can go ahead and add some more foundation at the bottom there, like so. And we're also going to need another baggage sorting thing as well, which should be easy enough to do. So that will be built in the sides section here. We're just going to have... Then what we're going to have is we're going to have another tunnel, which is 4 wide. And that's going to run along here, like so. What we're going to have is we're going to... 1, 2, 3, 4... I mean, I could pre-sort it up here, to be fair, but we won't. So let me go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill that bit in there. Again, this might not make much sense right now, but it will shortly. So run you down to there like so. Connect that up like that, and voila. So that's all of the underground system pretty much built. All the infrastructure is now there. I am now greatly in the negative, but stuff like this, it does cost quite a bit, as I have said. So let's go ahead and clear that. That's going to take a while to build, ladies and gentlemen. But as we can see, we're starting to get a bit more progress. So while that happens and while we slowly gain back money, we're just going to spend lightly and we're actually going to start to kit this place out. So for this, we're going to go ahead and add in the carpets, which are going to be up here. Of course, you know which carpets we're going for. We are also going to go ahead and add in a floor in the maintenance center as well. Just make it look a little bit more pretty. The builders are going to be extremely busy right now. And with that said, I think we actually need to wait for the builders to catch up, so we'll go ahead and just skip forward a bit. So as that building is going on and now I'm still in the profit, I have realised that I have sort of gone back on myself. The reason why we built the upstairs was to allow for a large gate to be built. However, I've not achieved that yet, and I'm not really that near achieving it either. I can go ahead and build it pretty much straight away when I want to, but once the baggage system is complete, that's when we'll go ahead and really start to work towards that. Again, we're going to add in another small gate, and then we're going to extend the terminal up this end. This is where we'll have a few large gates, and then I would like to have some more gates around here, and then I want to try adding a second runway as well, but realistically for that we're going to have to go for some expansion. Now that again is a while away, but in a few episodes time, I mean the airport should be completed by about episode 15. That's really what I'm aiming for this series to be, if people are still wondering. Okay, so let's go back to some building now. As we can see, the builders are taking quite some time, which is quite unfortunate, but it just is how it is, unfortunately. Right, okay, so with that though, we can go ahead and start to make some progress over here. So let's go ahead and start off with a baggage hub. Now, we're going to require more baggage hubs at this end based on the fact that there is going to be multiple exits. Unfortunately, do you need to have separate individual exits? I think you do. So basically what happens is the bags come into the baggage hub and they get sorted, and then they go out to their appropriate carousels. Carousels have separate exits. So it looks like in this baggage hub we basically have 4 exits. The 2 obvious ones on the left, and then we have one at the top and one at the bottom. Those are bi-directional, but we'll use them in just one direction. In unidirection, I think bi and uni are the 2 words you'd use in that case. which should be fine. So I think we can maybe just get away with starting off with one of these, but realistically in the future we will need two of these. And again, I think we're going to need to expand this even more, which is really frustrating. But we'll get there shortly. Okay, so as we can see now, I think they're moving on to the carpet now, which is good, so that won't take long at all. Then the dismantling of things will start to happen. Now, we're going to also go ahead and carry out some new research as well while we're at this, and it's going to be multi-lane access. Now, why would I want multi-lane access? Right now, we've got all the vehicles coming in on the one road, and it can be quite a chock-a-block. Right now, it's not, of course, when I'm, of course, over here, but when there's garbage pickups, when there's storage or deliveries, that's when bottlenecks occur. That is something which we want to avoid, so we really do want to add in a second road. That's something which we want to do. That's why I want multi-lane access, to have two lanes come in at the top. Right now, as you can see, we've only got one. And then I also want to go ahead and just have a lot more roads moving in and around the entrance to the terminal here. Go ahead and segregate traffic that little bit better. Okay, so going back underground now, as we can see, things are pretty much done building, which is good. So we can cut that back, cut that back, cut that back, and perfect. So we can now go ahead and install our new conveyor system, which is not really new, but it's just an extension to what we have right now. Fortunately, conveyor belts aren't too expensive. I can, fortunately, still spend money anyway, though, so that wouldn't be too much of a problem. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with one of these, and it's going to go here. Again, this might change as time goes on, but we'll wait and see. So that's going to run into there. Then what we're going to have is we're going to have... Cannot be connected that way. Right, okay, so this is actually the worst case scenario, which has come true, but it is what it is. We'll deal with it. So the conveyor belt, it will be able to handle connections up to 2 carousels for the time being. And yeah, we can't unfortunately use these top and bottom outputs, which is annoying. Randomly, there's a tray table sort of thing appeared from the restaurant up by a prep cart down there, which is a bit random. But hey ho. Okay, so now with that, yeah, again, you can see the glitch. Very odd. Quite funny though. But with that done, that is pretty much just now sorted. So there is one or two things that we do need to finish off though. One will need to grant access to this area, which what I'm going to do temporarily is really be not very efficient or nice about this. What we're going to do is we're going to clear away some of that stuff. Then we're also going to clear away this fence, because I'm going to add an extra entrance to the airport. As we can see right now, we've got 2 in close proximity, but we can add definitely more in going forwards. I would also like to move the garbage area as well going forward as well. Have that grouped up with the storage and deliveries down the bottom here. Possibly have a separate road, but again we need to wait for that research to conclude. Up the top here, we're going to need to get some more staff. So we're going to need, what, 5 more staff members. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Though arguably we should have a lot more staff now we've got more gates. But that's the problem, we are lacking on staff. Hired up to 22 staff. So we've got 11 check-in desks, and then we've got 8 staff required for the gates. So that's 21. No, it's only 19. So we've got 3 extra staff, which isn't bad. Right, so you need to be assigned to gates now. So we'll go ahead and assign you to all these gates. And then the final thing we need to do is we need to actually go ahead and build ourselves an airplane hangar, so we can go ahead and get some golf carts properly working in and around the airport. So if we type in the word hangar here, as we can see we get a variety of sizes of hangars. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put hangars in along here pretty much. Why can't I get a large one in there? I can get a large one in, which is perfect. Right, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a large one in right in the corner. Probably not right in the corner. We'll go ahead and just stick it in. How much room does a small one take up? That's the real question. On its side. So, to there, again I'm using my finger as a marker, which isn't exactly the most professional, but hey ho. Then we're going to rotate that around. I could use actually the planning markers, I realise that, but we're not going to. Right, so that is this hangar built. Now this will give us access to what we need, which you'll see shortly. Outside of that, all you need is, yeah, 1 baggage car, and then this should be in full operation. which I'm very excited for indeed. Passengers should be able to go back and drop their bags into that system. And as we can see right now, the golf cart's coming around and picking stuff up. That system shortly will be no longer. Okay, so how's the hangar getting on? It's still under construction. What we can do is we can see people are checking in up here, which is nice. This is finished, so we can go ahead and assign vehicles. So we're going to go ahead and assign 2 baggage cars, because it does, baggage cars cost quite a bit of money. And as we can see now, baggage cars are going to come from the hangar. They're going to go via the baggage depot, and then they're going to go ahead and, as we can see coming out here, you're going to take bags off of the jet. First of all, you're going to report to this, you're going to dump them into here, and you're going to you should be taking the new bags and putting them on there, but right now that part of the system hasn't connected up. As we can see though, these carousels are working, which is great to see. So this one is working, bags are getting dropped off, they're being dispensed, and that means golf carts aren't having to drive through the terminal. That is the very, very important and concluding point from this operation. So I mean, things are extremely basic and extremely poor right now, you could say, so we are going to go ahead and upgrade all of this now. That is the next job. Where do we start? Very good question indeed. We need to go ahead and first of all add in some queues before we do anything else, before we demolish these gates here, and I'm also going to go ahead and add in some more desks as well. I just want to add in some more desks as markers of anything. So let's go ahead and add in 1, 2, 3 more. No, let's just add in 2 more. Gonna need a conveyor belt row and then a wall. No, that should be fine actually. Let's do that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab some more queues. So you're 1, 2, 3, 4 deep. So that is, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. But they're the other way around, of course, because I mean, as we all know, I'm not the best with queues, am I? So let's go ahead and build this round here like so. And we're just going to have to do this multiple times over, so I'll very quickly speed this up. So with that now complete, we can go ahead and update the flooring. That's of course one of my big things that I like to do. So we'll go ahead and do that like so, that like so. We're going to have a new entrance up here in there. Then what we'll do is we'll have another... I don't really know how we're going to lay this next part out, so we'll just start off with this bit here anyway. And we're also going to go ahead and add in some more conveyor belts, just so we can go ahead and get bags coming off there into there. Is that gonna work? Oh, so the limit's 5. Right, okay, that's fine then. We can go ahead and definitely pre-build the next one. So what we'll do is, if we have a look underground here... Oh, I've not built this baggage thing well, have I? Not really thought this through too greatly. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have a down, we're gonna have an up. Well no, I just want it to go down. It needs to be one way here. So again, what we're gonna do is we're gonna allow for that there. Yup, perfect, and that builds into there. Right, so you can now see what I'm trying to achieve. Then what we can do is we can go ahead and... Where are we? We are looking for utilities, conveyor belts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these 2 extra desks, what they're gonna do is they're gonna come down the chutes here. Then what's going to happen is they will drop down and they will join into the baggage hub. Everything gets sorted in here. Then it comes along all the way to our baggage depot, which then, of course, these golf carts, they sort stuff out and they basically bring stuff to and from. So as we can see, it looks like it is loading bags up for gate A2. And that's perfectly done. We don't really seem to be... Are we loading bags on? Are we unloading and loading? Bags unloaded, but it doesn't seem to be loading the bags up. I'm not sure why that is. Odd. Anyway, that's pretty much the system as far as it's going to be anyway, which is fine. So with that done now, we can go ahead and dismantle all of these desks, and then we just need to go ahead and sort out 1 or 2 small other things related to do with queues. So we'll assign you to this queue, which is fine. We'll then assign you to this queue and this queue, and then so on and so forth. You get assigned to this queue, you get assigned to here, all this fun stuff which you always have to do. Then we'll assign you here to you, and then this will be assigned to this queue here, which will not take coach customers, which is perfect. Right, okay, so with that done now, all this can come down, which is strange, so I'm going to go ahead and very quickly tidy this area up because it often takes a bit of time. And there we have it, so that's it more tidied up. By no means it isn't finished. I'm going to have to go ahead and add in some more ticketing desks, but we actually have increased by 2 ticketing desks now, which is good. We will eventually go up to 10 because that's what we've got the capacity for right now with our current conveyor system. And again as well, I want to go ahead and add in more baggage carousels, but we'll go ahead and work on all that in the next episode. Start off by dealing with those two, try gain some more finances, and then we're going to go ahead and extend the airport more, because now that we've passed that bottleneck, security can be really easily expanded, and I might do that off camera. Baggage is fine now, ticketing is fine now, so there's really no bottlenecks left. We only really just need to go ahead and possibly worry about runways. I might need to build a second, but again, that will come with adding in some more gates, which we'll deal with, as I said, in the next episode. So I hope you have enjoyed. Please leave a like, rate, and subscribe if you are new around here. Go down into that description below, go ahead and follow me on Twitter, support me on Patreon, leave a like, rating, and a comment, and that's all, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Bigfoot, and I'm out.